Okay, let's unpack this then. We're doing a deep dive today. It's got a stack of sources, but we're really focusing on one perspective. From Sheikh Nurjan Miramati.
Right.
And the mission, well, you set this in. Exploring hidden influences in media, like TV, movies.
Yeah.
And how jinn, from this viewpoint, might be using them, sending subliminal messages.
It's a fascinating lens, isn't it? Looking at something so everyday, like movies, totally differently.
Yeah.
The source suggests there's this deep wisdom, hikmah,
Hikmah.
to be found in, well, potentially everything, even popular culture.
Everything.
Yeah, that's the perspective offered. That this wisdom is intended by Allah Almighty to reach people in all sorts of ways, guiding them, through whatever medium.
Huh. So, like, you watch a film with maybe some negative stuff.
Exactly. Bad behavior, whatever. And you might see it as a prompt.
The prompt.
Yeah, a reflection make you think, okay, I need to seek refuge in Allah Almighty from that kind of thing.
Ah, I see. So it's not just obvious moral lessons, it's deeper potential understanding.
Right. Finding meaning, even where you might not expect it.
Which kind of leads into a specific point the source makes about, well, certain genres, right?
Yeah.
Especially sci-fi.
Yes, exactly. This is where the source explicitly brings in the jinn connection.
Right.
It suggests that, say, sci-fi films, they might depict scenarios where jinn are actively teaching humans things.
Teaching, like skills, knowledge.
Specific knowledge, yeah. That's the idea presented. And it's not just, like, random fiction.
What then?
The source implies it could be an intentional revealing.
Intentional? Why?
Well, the source posits maybe to make the whole realm of the jinn seem more attractive, appealing.
Wow, okay. That's a pretty striking thought, that on-screen stories could be a form of veiled influence.
It is. And it connects to another, maybe surprising point from the source.
Which is?
That even, great spiritual figures, the saints, the awliya, they actually pay close attention to popular culture.
Really? Saints are watching movies and TV?
According to this source, yes. But not, just for fun.
Right. So why?
The source explains they monitor media, TV, movies, news to understand what's being sort of pushed or inspired into the world.
Okay.
They're trying to discern the technology, maybe the methods used by, well, unseen negative forces, the demons.
So they're looking for the techniques
And identifying the subliminal messages being sent, under the main story.
Beneath the surface narrative.
Exactly. It's about understanding let's say, the spiritual landscape and how it's being shaped or influenced in our material world.
Huh. So like you said earlier, spiritual intel gathering, using pop culture as a kind of pulse check.
That's the way to put it. Checking for subtle spiritual warfare or influence campaigns.
And the source gives examples, doesn't it? It mentions specific films.
It does. Star Wars, The Matrix, The Lord of the Rings.
Right, big ones. Why those?
They're described as awakening movies. Yeah. The reason given is that they resonated really deeply with spiritual people, like from all different backgrounds.
Why the resonance?
Because they apparently tapped into fundamental truths. The struggle between good and evil.
Okay.
The search for who you really are. This idea of a hidden reality behind the curtain.
The Matrix, definitely.
Things that suggest to people, hey, there must be something more, a higher purpose.
Beyond just the 9 to 5.
Exactly. Which kind of loops back to the idea that wisdom, hikmah, can pop up even in stories that just grab our imagination.
Fascinating stuff. So, okay. If wisdom can be found there and these unseen influences are potentially at play, what does this actually mean for you, the listener, when you're just, kicking back to watch a movie or binge a show?
Well, the practical guidance from this source is pretty straightforward, actually.
Yeah.
It's not about saying don't watch anything. It's about discernment, being aware.
Okay. Discernment. How?
And the advice is take what's good and beneficial for you from whatever media you watch.
Find the useful bits.
Look for that hidden wisdom, that hikmah from Allah Almighty, and the stuff that isn't beneficial. Just leave it.
Filter it out.
Yeah. Be an active, conscious consumer, not just passive.
Look for the deeper message, the hikmah, and sort of leave the dross behind.
Precisely. Which, really brings up an important question for everyone listening.
Go on.
If spiritual insights can show up in popular culture, and if there are these subtle, unseen influences possibly working through the media you enjoy, how does knowing this, or even just considering it, change the way you'll approach things next time?
Yeah. How does it change how you'll watch your next movie or your favorite show? Something to think about.